Okay. We're broadcasting.
Your own fault.
We're back. No, guess we're not. It's on my channel, man. Oh, no, it wasn't. We're back. Sorry, guys.
You should change your name to Clickmeister.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Dang, slippery, huh?
Yeah.
You can't get back in now.
No, I tried to get back in on the on it. I can't.
I didn't do anything, Mars. I'm sitting right here. I'm not the Clickmeister. Listen, learn there, young man. That's why I don't have a camera.
There. It's all sent out. Links, everything. Sorry about that.
Oh, so Roger, really quick, if you get booted out again accidentally,
Yeah.
go back into your YouTube where you set up your live feed, and it'll still be there, and you can click join Hangouts, and it'll bring you back into the same one.
Do we try that?
But don't ask me. No camera.
No, you didn't try that, because that's how I have to get back in the same one.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
That's okay, Chucky. You can blame me if you want.
It's my fault. It's my fault, guys.
That's the reason why you don't have a camera.
You have to go through all this process.
Back in.
There we go. Hi, Louis.
Sorry, Jacqueline.
So did you send Louis a?
That was fun.
My fault.
I hear him.
He buggered it up.
All right.
Oh, cake. Why did you bring up cake? Now it's just painful.
There we go.
Very good, Mo. Hey, Mo. Okay, Paul. What are you showing us?
All right. So, yes, the t-shirts are still working. We're still working on that. So that's still there. But I wanted to show Kim about the antenna that he was talking about a little while ago on the Tiny Whoops. All right. So Kim, you have on your Tiny Whoops, do you have an on the board, is the receiver baked onto the board, or do you have an extra receiver that's put onto the board soldered wise? Do you know?
And everybody, please hit that like button again. Thank you.
Because there are two. Sometimes you get a version where you can buy the board with the certain protocol, whether it's FR Sky or Fry Sky or Spectrum. And in either case, they put the antenna right on it, and it's this little metal, anodized piece of wire here that just gets wrapped inside. It seems like you have a flight controller that's soldered onto the board. So all that does is just repositioning that receiver inside, just so it's more neater, and so that the antennas come out the back end of the whoop. So it'll come out here. So what you might have to do is get in there, open up that canopy, and then just reorient that receiver so the antennas go out the back of it.
Well, I don't see any anything. It's just soldered to a board, and then you have the
little wire.
yeah.
So do you actually have antennas sticking out the side of it or out the back of it?
No, the antenna is straight up the center of it in the front.
Okay, so it's inside the board.
Yeah, it's right in the center of the and it comes right. If I let it sit up straight, it'll intercept the camera.
Yeah, you don't need to have it set up straight. So if you take a look, I don't know, on this board here.
Yeah.
If you can see it, see how this antenna is just laying across the board?
Yeah.
That's all you need to do, and it'll get just as good reception doing it that way.
What I did was I just bent it to one side, so it clears the lens.
Yep, you could do that, but to keep it safe, because the more times you crash or that little little bit keeps wiggling off, it will break off, and then you're really in trouble. So I usually just reorient it so that it's all inside, and
Okay.
none of it sticks out. You probably can't see it through the clear.
Yeah,
So
you sort of loop it on itself on
You
top.
can do that too. Just don't loop it too many times. Just lay it down and just kind of caress it back over.
Yeah, just around one time.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I positioned it right above the
prop there.
the prop guard. So if
Yep, the
there's an
ducts. Yep.
impact, it won't touch it.
Yeah, that's good too. That's good too. It's just for my purposes with when I have kids picking them up and touching them all the time, there's another reason too that I keep it inside the canopy is because when you go to grab it, if you hit it too many times again, it's it's wear and tear on that.
On this one here, it's not the same position. The antenna for it is off to one side of the board instead of right in the center like that one there.
So that one fits out a little bit better.
Yeah, so I just run it along the camera, along the side of the camera. So I mean everything's gonna ding ding ding, but it won't touch that wire.
Right. Now with that antenna, that dipole antenna on your Tiny Whoop camera there, just go ahead and take some hot glue and glue that down where that connector is, where it connects to the board on the camera.
Okay.
That way you won't break that off. Otherwise you're going to break that off and get it and have to have yourself soldering a really small little antenna back onto it. And that's even doubly tough with those antennas because it's shielded and it has a small pin that has to come out. So you got to easily solder the small pin into the middle of the board, and there's like a little horseshoe spot that goes around it that you solder the shielding from the antenna onto it, and it's really tough.
It's like a donut.
Yep.
And the outside ring is for the ground.
Yep.
And the pin is for the center.
You got it.
Okay, I got it. I'll put a bit of glue there from Bell's for sure. And
Yeah, just throw some hot glue on there, and that way it'll kind of shore it up a little bit. I'm not saying it's not ever going to break, but it'll make it a little bit more robust.
that's a good idea. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. This
Don't go too crazy with it either, because if it does, when it does break, you want to be able to throw some rubbing alcohol on it to degrade the glue so that you can easily peel it off and then do the solder work if you're so inclined to do that.
Oh, that's good, because this antenna on this one here is really stiff. I mean, really stiff.
Yep, do it on that one too. And I would too. This one's a bit of a part, but if I threw it back into the canopy, I would take the antenna and bend it over just a little bit slight. It's going to give you a little bit more space to hit those gaps. And two, it's not going to be standing up all the time, hitting things and getting knocked around.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Just bend it just a little bit and then throw a little hot glue on it. You'll be good.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'll do that then.
That's a pro tip.
Yeah, I mean, every little bit counts. I mean, you learn something new.
Yeah.
Like this one here has been banged around so much that it's flexible. As you can see.
Yep. That one right there scares me.
Yeah.
It looks like it's ready to pop right off.
Wiggly. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you noticing any poorer reception with that one versus the other one?
Super clear on this. When I do 120 feet, 130 feet, it's still no. Picture's all clear.
Good.
Especially outside. It's
Nice.
really good,
Nice.
this camera.
Those are probably rocking like 25 milliwatts.
Yeah. Yeah, 25, yeah.
No. Oh, all right. Well, I just wanted to pop on real quick. I'm sorry I dropped the whole live stream on
No,
you, Draws.
no,
You did
no,
that.
I picked it off.
Everybody else learned something on those little tips as well.
Yeah.
I try.
So we're just blaming you, Paul, for it.
No, I'm blaming Kim.
So you can blame Kim. It's okay. I don't mind. We're not blaming Roger.
Don't blame Roger. No.
See, I
Definitely.
picked this one up for Val.
Oh, nice.
I can't
I
wait.
bought those little bubble canopies that go over it, and they screw
Yep.
to the screw holes on each side, so so she can protect the camera and the board.
Yep. Now, too, when the camera, sometimes like on this one here, see how the camera's flopping out?
Yeah.
That little bit of hot glue that you use to fasten the antenna down. So what you want to do is fasten the antenna down and then just dribble it over a little bit onto the camera and onto the canopy. So that way, when she crashes, the camera won't start popping out.
Yeah. On this one here, I used that double-sided peel tape,
Or that, yeah, that'll work too.
and that's really, really stiff on there.
There you go.
So,
Like
Paul,
peel both sides.
can I ask you about other stuff? So, first of all, what simulator do you use? Do you use one?
I use Velocidrone and or FP Rider.
Oh, Freerider? FPV Freerider?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can get Velocidrone. You can get a free version of it too, but all the bells and whistles won't be opened up until you pony up I think it's like $5 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. And then my next question: how's CNY drones doing?
Oh, we're doing great. We're doing so great. We've got too much work to do.
Is that right? That's very good.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, that's a bad good. So are you bringing more interns on to help you guys?
We wish. What we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out how to market ourselves and how to package ourselves so that we can, yes, we are a nonprofit, but we've got to figure out some way to monetize what we're doing so that we can continue to do what we're doing. All of us are doing, we're doing volunteer work. So Lisa is doing a lot of the work at home, doing a lot of the administration, making sure contact lists are going out and doing all that stuff. Myself and Bob and a couple of the other main members, we're just trying to, we're going to work every day, but after we get home from work, it's like, okay, what do we got to do? How do we get things going? And a lot of time we do a lot of video chat for meetings and such. So, it's a full-time job after you're done doing your full-time job.
Right. That's what I was going to say. That's nonprofits, because I have one and I work for another one part-time. It is full-time. Most of your hours are volunteer. Whether they pay you anything or not, you still end up volunteering a lot.
Yep. And see this, even this, when I'm on my lunch break and waiting, I still consider this me volunteering for CNY drones because I'm on here trying to give good information, make sure that we have a good name and continue your mission too of being a hub and information, aggregate for everybody that signs on every day.
Right. We appreciate it, Paul. We do.
Yeah, well, it's fun to do, or else I wouldn't be doing it.
Right.
True.
So you don't actually buy drones that are already made. Do you just get drones you make?
Well, one of the things that we do is we're ramping up right now to do a master's teachers program where we're going to show how to build, program, pilot, and fly the little tiny Whoop drone with teachers. And then we're going to offer that workshop and then have them come back a few weeks later and show us how they've integrated their drone abilities now and skills into their classroom. So it could be something as simple as, look, kids, we're going to see the teacher fly and we're going to take turns and have like an ELA, English learning language arts program about it. So something as simple like we could go, a kid has never flown for the first time, let's say. You hand them out a sheet and talk about what the experience of flight is like and have them write it down. And then you give them the experience of flight, have them write it down, and then compare and contrast. That's just something real simple. That now you've got drones integrated in your classroom. You're using English language arts as a conduit to facilitate some talking and some experience with flight and FPV, and then you've got the kids writing it down, and then you correct and you do all that other good stuff with it too. So that's just one very simple way. If you go mathematics and science and stuff, hell, you could do, figure out the scale speed of the craft. You got some formulas you can plug in and some directives that you can give students, and they can figure out how fast you're flying your tiny whoop quad. So those are the type of things that we do. Then how we get people to do that is we buy all the parts. So if they're going to come, if we have like 12 participants, we give them a packaged number of how much it would cost to buy one of our kits and for us to supply the information and workup. So depending on travel, it could be a little bit more or a little bit less, but our kits are usually around $400 to $500. And in that kit, you get the drone, parts for the drone, extras when you break them, an actual nice little box to keep everything in, a soldering kit, goggles, the Tyrannus. You get everything that you need to fly and pilot and start working with a drone with students. So we buy all of those parts as per my request. I have a very specific parts list that we use. So that way when they break or there's a malfunction and they need to fix it or find out what they need to do, they can call us up or email us or talk to us on the internet and say, hey, this is what's happening. And I pretty much immediately know, okay, well, that's what happens when this happens, and this is how you fix it. So in that respect, we give them a broad but kind of a narrow way into doing drones through the Tiny Whoop platform.
Nice. Nice.
And we're trying to figure out how to package it all now. So
I think because one day I'm going to build one, but I just have to. I was watching Night Train help Jim build, and I think Jim's still in here, but he was trying to help him put. There was a problem with the drone. And I never got to the point, was it flying now or not? But it looked complicated to me. How complicated is that to do?
It's if you're doing a Tiny Whoop, it's not complicated because it's basically already done for you. And the only soldering that you need to do is to put the camera on. And that soldering is very difficult because it's on something super small. But if you build like a 5-inch quad, you've got more room to solder on, and your first build, Val, really, really, really should be something like a 5-inch quad that's a little bit bigger, that you're going to run 3S battery on so that you can get used to it. Don't plug it into the 4S because that's madness. But a 3S battery build will do you really well. And you could buy a Versacopter from Flight Test, and that's very straightforward. You can look at the video and watch it and learn about it. And there are also a ton of other videos that are very similar to it that will help you. But the key idea is if you're going to do a build, make sure you find a video that you can watch that doesn't have craziness happening behind and that you can focus in on. Number 2, buy the exact same components. And when I mean buy the exact same components, buy the exact same components. Usually on build videos, they give, all right, here's everything that I'm working with. And they usually link it to Amazon or Get FPV or whatever place that they buy it from. But that's supremely important because if you get one flight controller and they're using a different flight controller, let's say a Revision 5 from a Naze, and you go and you're working on a Revision 2 from Naze, there are going to be differences. They might look the same, but there are going to be differences.
Right.
Software and possibly layout of the board.
Quick question. Let me go down and ask it. It's from Maximus. He would like to know what types of drones are these, Lewis? Like racers or like DJIs?
No, these are racing drones, or let's say not racing drones. Let's just say they're not DJIs. DJIs you don't build; they come built for you. You can buy DJI kits that you can build, but that usually encompasses having to connect them to satellite and use another protocol or another flight controller called a NASA. And that's very difficult to use, especially with the programming software called Flight Planner. I have never had success with that. And I know a lot of people that use it, swear by it, but still bitch about it.
Okay. So what about what other kinds of kits? Do you ever buy the kits that come like in a box to give to the kids, or do you always put them together yourself?
Nope, that's one of the things that I teach with the kids is the kits that we put together are still all the different parts. They're just specifically what I buy and what I want. So, for instance, this is a drone that my kids put together. All it consists of is a Crazy Pony frame, Crazy Pony camera mount, which is what Kim got, and oh yeah, Roland Thurston, Pixhawk. That's right. I'm sorry, Pixhawk. That's right. Ew. Pixhawk, no good.
Maximus says, "Okay, thanks." So, like a 5-inch ones? Is that what you're doing? 5-inch?
Okay,
ones?
so the 5-inch ones, yeah, the 5-inch ones, you're doing some pretty heavy duty soldering. You're putting on motors onto ESCs onto either a power distribution board or a flight controller. So there's a lot of soldering with that.
See, I see how they're putting just like a drop of solder. I mean, they're not. Yeah, that scares me a little bit.
Well, that's called tinning. So what you would do is you would tin the board or the wire. You would put solder on the board or the wire before you actually put those two things together. That was a huge thing that I didn't understand. Even when I was a little kid learning how to solder from my father, I had to relearn all of that, in doing this. Yeah, so tinning is when if you have a pad, you're going to put solder on that pad on that board, and then you're going to tin your wire, put solder on that wire, and then you're going to put them on top of each other and lay your iron on top of it, and then they melt together.
Thank you.
The
getting questions. I know everybody already knows most of that.
No, and see, that's one of the things that we're trying to figure out with CNY drones is we're trying to figure out modules where we can package them into videos that are very succinct. There are a lot of videos on YouTube that you can go to and learn about soldering and tinning, but it's that you have to sit through and say, I can't sit through this guy's accent because I can't understand him. Or, oh my God, the babies in the background are just screaming, so I can't hear it. Or this guy isn't doing it right. Or so a lot of going through YouTube is trying to find a video that works for you as well as gives you good content and information. And what we're trying to do at CNY Drones is hopefully package neatly those big questions that everybody has coming into the hobby, but nobody wants to answer because like, oh my God, you're talking about soldering again? Well, yeah, because if you're new to this, hey, every year I have to teach a kid how to play a clarinet, and here's the reed, here's how you put it together. And it doesn't get old for me because it's something new for them. And that's the magic of it is like, oh, you can see the kid or the person say, that's how you do it. Wow. And that's what gets me giddy about it is, you taught somebody something and they actually learned it.
Maximus FBB is asking the question. Last question, what type of flight controllers, motors are you using?
Okay, well, for me, because I've had a progression, the flight controllers that I'm using now are the CL Racing. They're about $30, and they're an all-in-one. So it's a power distribution board and a flight controller all in one. The ESCs that I'm using are the favorites from, I forget, from I think Makefire. They're 30 amp D-Shot. So they're the digital ones. And the motors I use are the Emax S 2205 kV.
Nice. Nice. Let's see, like 20 Dark Cop. I'm going seeing if there's any other questions that I may miss.
Are you drawn? How you guys doing? Mo?
Ariel says he's been sneaking into forbidden places for footage for 3 days. Awesome videos to come. Got some great footage. Oh,
Any other questions, guys and ladies?
Maximus is saying
Well,
good
Louis is
stuff.
still here and we got him captured.
You know, I tell you, that's one thing I like about the hub. This one is because the guys are really good about me asking those beginning questions because I'm beginning. You know,
Everybody's
they're
sometime.
good about that. So, yeah.
All I know is I wish I had had something like this 3 years ago when I started, because I would have I would have been a lot further along than I am now, simply because I had to learn how to learn some of this stuff, and you had to figure out, you had to navigate YouTube. It's all on YouTube, but again, as I said, you got to like the video you're watching, and it's got to work for you.
Yeah. Maximus is asking, oh yeah, what's your company's name? Louis, it's not a company, it's a non-profit organization. It's called CNY.
Let him finish.
CNY Drones. I'll throw in the link for you.
Wow.
But yeah, it's it would have been a lot better for me if I'd have known it, had a lot of this information last, I don't know, 2 years ago even.
Yeah, that's it.
I think the channel I just put in is connected to CNY Drones. If it's not, and I sent you to Mars's, I'm sorry.
I got you right there too.
They have the beginner racer drone. It's a Tyrone 99. Drone Pool has one.
Yep.
Very easy to put together and stuff like that. Very little soldering involved.
Yeah, and two, you can buy just straight up kits like Fat Shark 101. Gives you goggles, a drone, and a controller, and it pretty much gets you right into the hobby. Not building or anything like that. And you can buy ready to fly drones. Somebody like me builds them, gets it all squared away, and then you just basically pick the receiver that you want to put in. If you're, Spectrum or FR Sky or whatever, then they put it in and you bind it to your radio and you're ready to go.
Yeah,
but if you break it, then you can't fix it because you don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming out with easier and easier drone little book kits and everything else now.
Yep.
More often, which is good because it teaches you.
Yeah, and it's funny too because it's like it's become so ubiquitous. So how we call tissues Kleenex,
right?
Right. Kleenex is a brand, and it was such a good brand that we call all tissues Kleenexes, right? Well, that's kind of what's happening to these drones. Jesse Perkins first did it with the Inductrix drone from I forget who made it. Somebody on the channel could tell me, but it's an Inductrix drone, and he's the guy that put a little security camera on it and started flying it around. Well, that blew right up into the Tiny Whoop, which became something else. So he had a different, way of doing things from the Inductrix, and then all of these knockoffs like the Betaflight boards and like Alien Whoop and all that stuff started to come out, and then those, and then now we just call them Tiny Whoops, but the original Tiny Whoop was an Inductrix drone with a security camera on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's amazing how we're progressing slowly, but we're progressing.
Yeah. And what kills me too is now you've got all this peripheral happening because like I said, if there wasn't a Tiny Whoop created, then you wouldn't have all these Tiny Whoop frames to buy. If there wasn't a Tiny Whoop created, you wouldn't be buying these form fit canopies that somebody's making money off from. You wouldn't be buying Tiny Whoop gates because you don't have a Tiny Whoop to fly through it. So that's so cool how a little invention or a little ingenuity and putting some stuff together creates this whole other industry.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Whoops and all that are really growing.
Yeah, and that's why they predict that it's going to be multi-billion-dollar business
Yeah.
in the fear, in the very near future. Already it's into the billions.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Like eBay's selling those canopy. You get 4 different color canopies, like you had on that one whoop for $2.
Yeah. And two, there's DIY ways that you can make your own canopies. So one of the things that one of the guys at CNY Drones, he makes the vacuum foam canopies out of plates that you buy at the store. So those plastic Dixie plates that you can buy at the store?
Yeah.
That's what he uses. He takes them. He made a 3D printed mold, and he made a jig or a rig that he then puts it on, takes a not a hair dryer, but a shrink wrap dryer, one of those, a hot gun or whatever,
Yeah.
and puts it in and vacuum forms it and makes these himself.
That's
Wow.
It's crazy.
they're coming up with all kinds of really cool stuff.
I'm good, Mr. Crowley. How are you? And how's Rory? So, so it sounds like there's a ton of new things coming on board. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, you got to keep up, Val.
I know, right? And I'm so behind. Hey, what do you think about coming on my show on the 28th on a Sunday?
Sunday, I could probably do that. The 28th of this
Month.
this month. I'm looking at my calendar. What time?
Your time would be 7.
I believe I could do that. My little girl has
Just
skating
added
practice, but I could probably skip that one night.
Okay, don't make her mad though, because little girls will hold that stuff.
I know she's got blades on her feet. I don't want to tick her off.
I got you down for the 28th. Okay.
All right.
I
Just shoot me an
there's more
email
stuff
so that
I want to ask you, but I don't want to monopolize the chat.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Okay. Go ahead, Kim. I'll let you ask Paul some questions.
I don't have any.
Oh, well, then you're gonna. Roger?
No, I'm okay.
Anybody in here want to know anything? Ask.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well,
When do you have to go back to your class?
Actually, I should have some beginning flute players coming in about 5 minutes.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
well, we'll keep our questions for the 28th.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Have some good ones for me.
And if Aaron wants to come on with you, that's very cool.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, hey, I just remembered too. I think I might have a way to streamline your guys' Saturday night shows when you show people's videos.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know how you're always goofing around with trying to get the links and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Well, if you could create, or I could create it for you and show you how to do it, just a real quick, simple Google Sheets or survey for which people can access, fill it out, and that will populate a spreadsheet for you, Val. And then that way they can cut and paste it in, and you can keep track of who's in and next. Because I felt bad that I think I bullied you guys into making you show one of my videos over some other people.
No,
So
you're fine, Paul.
so that way you can kind of keep a hierarchy for it too. And it's a real simple sheet to create. I'll create it for you and let you goof around with it and see how it works to see if
I
you
would
guys would like it.
appreciate it. You know what? And here's the deal. Because Rulin does that for us, and then hey Heath and I try to keep it in some kind of order for him on the side chat. But it is Rulin, we can't keep him up to 3 or 4 every Saturday night, I think. So if it turns to me, I need something simpler.
Well, what's cool about that too is you both can have that information be deposited to you. So from that Google survey that people fill out, say, hey, my name is Paul Brown. My FPV handle is Louis P. Floyd. And here's the cut and pasted link of the video that I want you to show. And then they could have like a little description under it so that before you preload it, you could say, okay, the next one up is Louis P. Floyd, and his name is Paul, and he's going to be flying in this certain area. You could kind of do that. And what's cool is
that'd be cool.
Yeah, what's cool is if you're both kind of doing the thing, you're both going to be able to see that list pop up. So if Roland has to leave after an hour or so in, and you guys are still raring to go, Val, you still have that information, and vice versa.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. So I'll show you how to make that work, and it'll kind of ease things up for you. That way you're not kind of, although it is kind of funny to see you guys struggle a little bit, but
I don't think Rulin struggles as much as I struggle, and I try not to show it, but I can't. Everything I feel is on my face. I just don't know how to not do that, right? When I'm like, what did I do? Yeah.
Well, at least you're not click happy like Roger.
Oh, Rulin saying, ain't that the circles thing in Google?
What's that?
Rulin says, ain't that the circles thing?
No, Roland. No, it's just if you have a Google email, you're able to access a small bit of your Google Drive. I think they give you like 10 gigabytes or whatever. But what will happen is we'll make a sheet that people can link to and fill out. And then once they hit that submit button, all the information that they filled out will shoot to you and Val in a spreadsheet. And then you'll be able to click on things and just pop things up real quick.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd love to practice that. Rulin, you and me, baby. You and me. We'll practice.
Uncle will be there this Saturday. His girlfriend's coming in town, so I don't think he'll be there Saturday.
Rulin doesn't care about girlfriends. He wants to be on the Canadian Drone Hub. Right, Rulin?
Hey, guys, I got to take off. I got to get ready for my next thing.
Okay, Louis, thanks for coming in.
Bye, Paul. Thank you. See
Bye,
you on
guys.
28.
Cool. Okay, Maximus, have a good day at school.
Bye.
Great.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Oh, so Rulin's girlfriend. So I'm up on this Saturday. So Rulin, you and your girlfriend might want to sit and watch how I screw this up.
Yes, RC Hunter. Yeah, we got the notification for your video came up there. Yeah, I will check it out after the stream, RC Hunter.
Okay, yeah, Flying Trucker, I'm sorry we missed you. You have a great day. You be safe on the road.
Oh, Flying Trucker, bye. Tell Trish I said hi.
And somebody else.
Anaconda as well. That's what Roland wrote down.
I know. I'm just gonna learn what that means. Yeah.
Trucks of North America, how you doing? Somebody else left too as well. Can't seem to find him right now. Virgin is leaving.
Okay.
Oh, Virgin, bye.
So, guys, we just might close this down for now, and we'll be on again tomorrow morning.
1:30.
Wow. It's 1:30 already. We got things to do.
Okay.
So, okay, everybody.
So hold on a minute, guys. I'm going to be going on in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
So that you know, because I have an hour thing that I'm going to do today.
Yeah.
To kind of catch up on some stuff.
Okay.
And so if you want to come on, please do. Val's Life. If you don't have time, don't worry. Don't worry. I'll just be there.
I'll go on. As soon as I do with the dog there, I'll get on.
Okay.
Hey,
well, if you want me to, I could send you a link, Tim.
Pardon?
I could send you a link.
Hold on.
Well, I'm in 10 minutes with the dog because it's really cold outside.
Okay, guys.
Okay, hold on. Before we go, check out HCD, Hadley's Crazy Daddy. Check him out. I got him already.
I do.
Well, a wrench. So if anybody wants to support your channel, they'll support it. We're on every morning. HCD, Hadley's Crazy Daddy. Hades.
We're on at 9 a.m. every morning on the Canadian Drone Hub, and Saturdays at 7:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern.
So we're 7 mornings a week.
Yep.
Okay, so whoever wants to hit up HCD, Haley's Crazy Daddy before he leaves.
Okay, Mars. Mo.
Okay, Mo, Mars, NetDragon.
If everybody wants to zip over to Val's channel, she's going to start up in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Bye, Heath.
Okay, everybody.
NetDragon. Love you all.
Yeah.
Love you too, Val.
Bye.
Hey, Roland.
Hopefully I'll see somebody soon.
RC, Mo. Everybody check out Val. We'll meet over there.
You gonna hang on just for a minute, Val?
Yes, I am. That's why I said 10 minutes.
Okay. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.